Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Champion. This is Camping with Champion, and tonight I am going to be camping behind this old abandoned gas station that I found. I saw it like months ago, and honestly I forgot about it until we're here recently, and I think this is going to be a nice relaxing one. I don't want to jinx myself, but if you look at this place, you can tell it has not been in business in a very long time, and right behind it are all these woods that open up into a pretty open area that I could camp in. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna camp in the woods behind it or maybe right behind the gas station. I may even camp inside of it. I don't know. I have to get there, really scope it out, and then we'll figure out a spot to set up camp. But first, I'm gonna get my helmet on and get to the spot. I am here at the spot, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to stay back here in these woods or if I just want to stay right behind the store. I'll have to go and explore and see what I think. Ow, this backpack is so heavy. I swear I don't bring any unnecessary gear either, I don't feel like. We are right behind the gas station. If I remember correctly, I'm starting to think this used to be like an old pawn shop or something like that back in the day. This is just right off a highway, so it's going to be pretty loud tonight. Just taking that into consideration, I think I should probably sleep in the woods instead of like really close to the building. Looks like I found an open door. Hello? Okay. Honestly, this would not be a bad place to stay. Someone's already been in here enjoying a couple natural lights. But I brought a tent, so I don't really think I need to stay in here. Plus there's this hole in the floor. That is very concerning. Shut that door back. Ooh. So I was thinking that I could possibly sleep right behind the store, but there is a lot of trash back here and junk. That's not gonna be possible. But on the other side, there's an open area where I first walked into. I could definitely camp there, but I'm strongly leaning towards just camping in the woods though. Look at this billboard. See, I think I could handle a billboard about this height. I bet that's about 30 feet probably. That other billboard that I climbed was at least, I'm gonna say 4 times as tall as that. I think I could handle one like that though. Maybe another day. I could definitely throw my tent up right here, but it would also be really hard to stake in the ground because of all the gravel and everything. So I think I've made up my mind. I think I am just gonna put the tent back here in the woods. Let's go see what's back here. Here in a little bit, I'm gonna take my bike and I'm gonna stash it behind all this pile of tree limbs and stuff. Maybe that's where I'll camp at, actually. I don't know. I'm not really seeing any ground that is suitable for my tent yet, so let's keep on looking. There's another pile of tree limbs and brush. This area seems better, but I would like to have my tent somewhere where if someone did come right up through that opening, they wouldn't just see me immediately. Oh my gosh. A rabbit just took off out of there and it scared me to death. I wonder what else is living inside this brush pile here. I know if I was a rabbit or another animal, I would definitely live in there. There's a nice spot where some tall grass is growing right here, and hopefully that'll be nice and soft for my tent to lay on. Speaking of that, I need to go ahead and get my stuff, get it back here, and start setting up the tent before the sun goes down. Also, there's a Dollar General not far from here where I found the dumpster water that time. And I think I'll ride the bike over there later and check that dumpster. And believe me, if I see anyone, I am not telling them what I'm doing. Y'all never gonna believe this. I freaking forgot my tent. Oh my gosh. I can get back on the bike and get it, but it's gonna be dark when I get back. I'm contemplating just throwing my sleeping pad on the ground, but I just got this sleeping pad. I really don't want to get any holes in it. Dang it. I cannot believe I forgot the freaking tent. I knew this day would come at some point. This bike I have will go 40 miles an hour. I'm gonna hop on it, leave all my gear here, go back, grab my tent, and try and get back and set it up before dark. I'll see y'all when I get back here. I'm not gonna do any recording on the trip there because I wanna go as fast as possible. God. I've got the tent, and instead of taking the back roads like I did the first time to get there, I'm just going straight down the highway, which is kind of dangerous, but I got a lot of time to make up. So I changed my mind about my camp spot. This is the first brush pile, and there's some high grass right here. That's the opening back there, and I'm just gonna set up my tent down here in this grass. It's low enough to the ground to where you're not gonna be able to see it, even if you were standing at that opening. The mosquitoes are still really bad out here. It's still in the 80s here in the daytime, but at night it's been dropping into the 60s. So that'll be nice. I don't think I need to bring my camp fan anymore, but I still gotta break out the thermocell to get rid of these mosquitoes. Ow, right in my freaking head. I have bug spray on too, but they're still attacking me. Get off. Okay, I got that lit up. set that down, and then we're gonna try and get that tent up really fast because the sun is setting and it's gonna be dark here in no time. Ow. I'm using this gear top bivvy tent that a subscriber, Chris, sent me. Thank you. I've used this a lot of times. It's my go-to stealth camping tent. During the winter, I have a little bit of a bigger tent that I'm gonna use, just because in the winter, I like to be inside the tent and have all my gear and everything inside there with me. But this is a great stealth camping tent. Got some leaves and dried up sticks from the last time I used it in here. I believe the last time I used this was at the largest cemetery in Alabama. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. Okay, now I gotta try and get these stakes in the ground. That's gonna be hard. Freaking mosquitoes. Dang it, I should have already looked for a big rock or something. These stakes that come with the tent were the only part of the tent that I don't really care for. I've bent these so easily a few times. Of course, maybe I'm just putting it in some really hard ground that I shouldn't be, I don't know. Oh wow, that actually went in there pretty easily. Oh crap. See what I mean? Just, and the fact that I'm able to bend it back out pretty easy shows how weak they really are. I need to invest in some decent tent stakes. There are mosquitoes flying all around my head. Okay, it's a little harder than I thought. I'm gonna go find a rock to beat these into the ground with. Found a nice chunk of what seems to be concrete. We'll use that. Oh, it is getting dark super fast. It is so hot still. But don't worry. Here in about another month or so, I will switch from complaining about how hot it is to complaining about how cold it is. I'm never satisfied, I guess. All in all, I'd say this tent probably takes around 10 minutes to set up, and the majority of that time is just trying to get the stakes in the ground. I still have to stake out the bottom of it because the bottom will fold in on itself if it's not staked in. Zip this up so the bugs don't get in here. Oh man. Just gotta stake this in. Well, I'm nice and sweaty, but the tent is up. I haven't threw the rain fly over it yet, but I will. She is such a great bivvy. I've had one bivvy before that I just absolutely hated because it was so small and it didn't breathe at all. This thing is perfect, just enough room so it doesn't take up a large footprint outside, but there's enough room inside there you can sit up and it doesn't feel like you're just in a coffin or something. I guess I'll go ahead and throw the tarp over it. It's not supposed to rain or anything like that tonight, but to be perfectly honest, I just like not being able to see outside while I'm sleeping. So I know it's just a tent, I say this all the time, but there's something about not being able to see out of my tent all around me that makes me feel a lot more comfortable. Doesn't make any sense, but psychologically it just makes me feel better. Here's another look at it with the rain fly over the top of it. I'm gonna get my chair out and sit down for a few minutes, and then I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll see. Fire Maple sent me a new stove. We're gonna try that out later too. I love this chair, but I have noticed that one of my things is kind of dangling. The bungee cord, I guess, broke, but it still works. I just have to manually shove it in the hole now. No big deal. You know, I didn't know that you were meant to put this bag on the little poles that are down here on the chair. Just slips over like that on each one. And then you have a little area you can put stuff in or whatever. Also helps you not to lose your carrying case. Done. This is kind of my routine. I've noticed when I get to a spot, I get super hot and sweaty. So I put my chair out and I sit here for like 20 minutes and just think. It's loud. There's heavy traffic, but it doesn't really bother me. A lot of my spots are like that. But I just sit here and think about stuff. Tonight for dinner, I brought chicken mole. It's like a Mexican shredded spicy chicken. I actually made it already at home, and I'm just gonna have to heat it up here in the pot because, I mean, it's not that hard of a recipe. You just boil chicken. Well, I'll tell you more about it later when I'm actually cooking. But I brought that, and a subscriber sent me some Cheerwine soda. I'm gonna try that. And of course, for dessert, we have a cherry pie, but this cherry pie is different. A subscriber actually sent it to me, so. It's actually gotten kind of cold out here. I had to put my pullover on. Getting hungry, but I think I'm gonna go up to Dollar General first and check the dumpster before I cook. Unfortunately, I was gonna say I forgot my headlamp, but I just can't find it. So the last time I had it was when I was under those trees and that homeless guy caught me camping, but I haven't found it since then. I also lost my earbuds that night. I actually went back the next day thinking maybe I left them behind, and so I went back, looked under the trees, and didn't find either one of those, but I did find this black Zippo lighter. So either he dropped it that night or he came back after I had left and dropped it. But yeah, so I can't find my freaking headlamp anywhere, which is gonna make looking in the dumpster a lot harder. But I guess I'll just use the light on top of the camera here, I reckon. But it's a lot harder having to use a light that you're holding in your hand versus headlamp, because, you know, you really need both hands to really just get in that trash, you know, and find all the good stuff. It's gonna be cold riding the bike, actually, now that I think about it. But anyways, I'm gonna get on the bike and we're gonna head up to the dollar store dumpster, Dollar General dumpster, and see what they got. I've been unlucky the last few times. I actually went yesterday to the other dumpster that I usually go to, and there was someone in there. I couldn't believe it. How dare they? All right, let's go up here. Just got to sneak out of here without being seen, but honestly, I don't think that's going to be a problem whatsoever. I don't think anybody's coming back through here. I'm not going to turn the headlight on my bike on yet until I get out of here, just to be a little bit cautious. If you look right across the street, those are the woods I stayed in when I camped beside the RV dealership. That's the RV dealership. That's the first time that I actually looked at this and was like, hey, that could be a spot. Okay. How much do you guys think one of these brand new trucks cost? Probably like 80 grand or something like that. I've actually never owned a new car. My Dodge Ram, my 2008 Dodge Ram, has 160 something thousand miles when I bought it, and that's the least amount of miles I've ever had on a car. Ooh, it's chilly out here. All right, let's keep going. I don't know if you can see the yellow Dollar General sign way up there, but that's where we're going. We're almost there, and I've been able to stay on the side of the highway, like going through business parking lots and stuff, almost the entire way there. But I am gonna have to cross over, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna go up to that red light and then go straight across when the light turns green. I'm just waiting at the red light. Also, y'all don't get mad at me, but I forgot to put my helmet on before I left. But as soon as this light turns green, I'm shooting across to the Dollar General. I hope we find something tonight. Like the last 4 times I've checked, there's been nothing. Green light. Dang, it looks like we're all going to the Dollar General. I park the bike back here behind the dumpsters and then I'll sneak around. But when I was pulling the bike up here, I almost ran head first into this spider. I'll turn the light on for just a second. Look at that nasty thing. I swear, I can't go anywhere without almost running into a spider web. I don't know if y'all can see it, but the spider web literally goes all the way across here. And I parked right there, like my eyes were right in front of the web. Oh, so gross. So the white truck that was at the red light, they're leaving now, but that red car is still here. I wish they would leave because they're parked right on the edge and they'll be able to see me at the dumpster. It's time to check the dumpster. Here we go. It stinks. Dang. Not seeing anything. There is a bag of cough drops. Looks like a whole bag of cough drops, but and some Flintstones vitamins. Other than that, though, doesn't look like there's anything great in there. Nothing worth actually jumping in there for. Dang it. Man, we are on a bad run of dumpster diving here lately. All right, well, let's head back to camp and start cooking some dinner. Goodbye, spider. I am glad we didn't accidentally touch. Have a nice rest of your evening. So, Fire Maple sent me this new cooking system to try out. I'm actually going to use this pan to heat the chicken up in, because I want to make myself a cup of chamomile tea to try and help me sleep tonight. And I will use the new Fire Maple pot for that right before bed. This pot is very similar to the other one that I had from Fire Maple, but what's cool about this one is that it has a lip above the heat exchanger. That way, when the wind is blowing, it can't hit your heat exchanger and your flame and blow your flame out. I keep the stove inside there like that. This is the upgraded stove. I want to say the stove that I've been using from them was the Green Peak stove. Has a cool new design. It has these little knobs right here that lock into the base. There's holes underneath here, and the little knobs go into the hole, then you twist it and it's locked on there so it cannot come off of this stove, which is really handy for someone like me. This is a 600 milliliter pot, and I believe the name of this with the pot and the stove is called the Petrol Quick Boil System. I think it just came out too. I didn't think they were actually going to send me anything else to try, because the last time they did, they sent me that lantern and I dropped it and set my spot on fire. Ah. That was when I was stealth camping behind Applebee's. Also, they sent me this little table. What'd I do with it? Here it is. Look how small that is. But this is really cool. This is called the Petrol table. It just folds out like this. Put the leg down. And then this part goes over your butane canister like that. It just sets over your butane canister. And then your stove actually screws on top of there. So you have a nice little platform to cook on. You have your stuff over here, your pot, which locks into place over here. The only thing that it's a little bit of a complaint for me is that it doesn't have the igniter built in. I'm so used to my stoves being able to just click them and light them, but on this one it doesn't have that, so you do have to bring your own lighter. Which from now on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my lighter and I'm just gonna keep it inside the pot with the stove itself so that I don't forget it. Like I said, I'm not going to use this right now. I just have one of my old pans that I'm going to use to cook the chicken in. So we'll take that off and we'll cook that on there. Also, it comes with a stand that goes on the bottom of your butane if you're on uneven ground, which I am currently on. So I was telling you earlier, but this is called chicken mole. It's a spicy Mexican shredded chicken. This is a red bag, but the mole is red too. But basically, what you do is you boil chicken, then you shred it, keep your chicken broth, because you'll need that. Shred your chicken, and then you put the chicken back in your broth. Last night while I was cooking it, the handle came off of my pot and the boiling water went all over my legs. I thought I was going to be seriously burned, and it hurt for a while, but it didn't leave any like second-degree burns or anything like that. It was just very red, but it went away in about 2 hours. Anyways, put your chicken back in your chicken broth, bring it back to a boil, add a couple tablespoons of peanut butter, chili powder, salt, and then you want to take some flour, mix it with a little water till you get kind of a paste, and then you slowly pour that in while you stir it, and that will thicken everything up. You don't want to just dump flour in there because it will get these big clumps in there of dough, and that doesn't taste good. But yeah, that's basically it. It's a recipe my aunt taught me before she passed away. I wish I would have got her to teach me how to make tamales too. Let me find my lighter because I'm going to need that to light the stove, and then we'll get to cooking. So a subscriber, Michael, donated $20 and I used it to buy this new sport. A lot of people, and including myself, don't like to hear the sound of scraping when you're cooking, so I got this new sport with a silicone covered spoon in, so now I can cook and stuff and eat without making that scraping noise on the pot. So thank you, Michael. This thing is so big, I just put it in my other sports case, but it still hangs out the end. That's okay though. All right, let's get this stove fired up. I am freaking hungry. I also brought some tortillas that I just bought at Walmart. Homemade tortillas would have been so much nicer, but honestly, I didn't want to put forth all the effort to make homemade tortillas. I am enjoying the silicone tipped spoon not scraping against the pan. The stove is getting very hot very quick, so trying to just kind of hold it above the flame, because all I want to do is reheat this chicken. I don't want to burn it onto the bottom of my pan. You can really smell the peanut buttery smell coming off the chicken. I know it sounds weird to put peanut butter in chicken, but it makes it delicious. It gives it this kind of nutty taste. And if you make this and you taste it before the peanut butter and then you taste it after you put the peanut butter, you'll know what I mean. Huge, huge difference. I was watching an Outdoor Boys video and Luke on there made some chicken mole, and it was just bought from Walmart in a pack. So I went and bought some of that and tried it, and it was disgusting. It tasted nothing like real homemade Mexican chicken mole. Also, I had some Mexican rice to bring with me, and I just completely forgot it. I was on such a pretty good run of not forgetting stuff, and I felt like tonight I just forgot everything. Okay, so that's done. Super fast. I may make this more often. That's what it looks like. This stuff is so good. You can make a taco, burrito, whatever. If I would have brought the rice, I probably would have made a kind of a little burrito out of it, but I forgot it. Ooh. So good. I've had some real tortillas. Oh my gosh. Also, a subscriber sent me 3 bottles of this. It's called Cheerwine soda. I've never heard of it, but multiple people mentioned it in my comments. I apologize to the subscribers who sent this to me. I cannot find the name in my phone. I guess I forgot to add it in there, but I do have it at home, and I'll put your name on the screen right here. But we're gonna try this Cheerwine and see what it tastes like. Is it gonna taste like wine? Is that what it is? It smells like a Coca-Cola. That's freaking good. It's almost like a cherry Coke, kind of. Now I'm getting more of a Dr. Pepper hint to it, like a cherry Dr. Pepper. That's freaking good. I want to say they sent this from North Carolina, so I don't know if it's a regional thing, like just around there or what. That is good. It says since 1917, so they've been around for a while too. Wow, that was really good. All right, y'all, I'm gonna finish eating, then we'll eat the cherry pie, and after that, we'll read comments from last week's video. I'm all finished eating, cleaning my pan up with some baby wipes. I'll actually wash this too when I get home. So I've been wiping it down with baby wipes, and then I have like tissues, and I come in after the baby wipes, and once I get all the solid stuff out, using the tissue to just clean up. Just don't want anything attracting ants and stuff to my bags at night, so just clean it up the best as I can. It's pretty freaking good though. Cherry pie for dessert. This was sent to me by the YouTube channel Another Day, Another Adventure, so thank y'all for that. They've also been sending me some ideas for some stealth camping spots. They're from around the Birmingham area, which is about an hour and a half from me, and they've got some pretty good spots that I'm definitely going to do at some point. Delicious as always. I am so full. I'm gonna sit here for a few minutes, let this food settle, and then I'll read the comments from last week's video. Actually, I decided before I read the comments, I'm gonna go ahead and get my sleeping mat out. I haven't gotten to use this yet. Actually, a subscriber donated, Todd, thank you very much for donating, and got me this new sleeping pad because my other one has a hole in it. And it does have a foot pump in it, but I have my little inflator, and I'm not too worried about the noise it's gonna make, so we're gonna use the inflator and get this thing aired up super quick. I've got it mostly inflated with the inflator, but what I'll do now is go ahead and do a few pumps with the foot pump down there to get it to the kind of firmness that I want. I've learned over time not to overinflate these too much. You want to leave some wiggle room, because if you overinflate them, it makes it easier for them to get punctures in them and stuff. Perfect. Okay, I'm all set up for sleep. Time to read some comments from last week's video. This is the Tennessee River Stealth Camp video, and the first comment is from Granddaddy Dankster 2771. Sam seems like a good friend. I like his accent. Glad y'all didn't get caught. He is a good friend. His accent, he is actually from Lebanon. I think he came over to the US when he was 18, went to school here, he went to college here, graduated. He's got his citizenship here, so he's like, I want to say 35 now. I think that's wrong. He's in his 30s. He's been here a while, but he's a good guy. When we were back in Minnesota, one day my truck broke down right after I got off work at like 6 o'clock in the morning, negative 19 degrees, and with the wind chill, I don't know what it would have been, probably negative 30. But this guy got out, came, hooked my truck up to his, I think he has a Land Rover, strapped it up and hauled me to a parking lot to get me out of the road. So he is a good guy, he's helped me out a bunch. Almost Lucky 8886, man, I knew exactly where that was when those old bridge pillars popped up. Haha, we have said, I wonder if you could camp out on one of those. Now we know. Thank you. Cool to see you in Alabama. Yeah, dude, that was such a good spot. So Sam lives up in Tennessee. Obviously, I'm in Alabama. He's about 4 hours from me, so we just picked a spot that was in between both of us, and that happened to be Florence, Alabama. And I just used Google Maps to look around, and I saw those. I told him we had to camp there because I just thought it looked so cool. But yeah, it was a perfect spot. You can definitely camp up there. The ground is super uneven, and it's really rocky too, so if you are going to camp up there, you need to bring either a cot or actually the spot where Sam and his girlfriend was, that was pretty flat, so that would be a good spot to sleep at too. Just don't mess with the duck eggs. Next comment from Steve Fallet 9414. Those are pterodactyl eggs. So I got a lot of comments. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they were duck eggs. I saw a lot of people say they thought they were goose eggs, but the reason I didn't say they were or think they were goose eggs was because when I was there, I looked up eggs and different sizes and stuff like that. And the eggs that were there were probably maybe double the size of a chicken egg, maybe not quite double, but a goose egg is huge. Like a goose egg will fill up the palm of your hand, you know? And these eggs were nowhere near that big, but they were large eggs, just not that big. So I was pretty sure they were duck eggs. I wish they were pterodactyl eggs. Next comment is from Dr. Rawboss underscore the dummy. Okay. Definitely shake out all your gear before you take it inside your house, bro. Laugh out loud, you're a brave man. Oh man. I didn't see any spiders on any of my stuff. I mean, after I got up there, I didn't see any spiders at all, I don't believe. They were only on that ladder. And to be honest, I think Sam squished a bunch of them or knocked them off or something on his way up, because there was not that many there. And on the way down, there were almost no spiders whatsoever left on the ladder. So yeah, I think Sam took one for the team on that one. Peter Knapp 221 says, make your own spider soda. Well, I don't think I'll be doing any kind of spider soda, but I have been looking into making my own soda. Apparently it is not that hard to make like a Sprite type soda with just some pine needles and some of those soda bottles that with the cork tops on them. Actually, you just put some pine needles and some sugar in there, I think. But I used to make homemade wine, but I had to stop because one time I made a jug of homemade wine and then I drank it, obviously. I don't really remember why, but I went outside and me and my wife were staying at my mother-in-law's house this night. I went outside and then I was cold, so I started a fire The next thing I know, I'm waking up in the morning, people are screaming at me. The whole bottom of my shoes melted off, and I couldn't afford to get new shoes for a while, so I was just walking around just sliding on everything. But they had to call the fire department. It was bad, so that was the last time I made any of that stuff. Next comment. Trinity Peror 4721, hold a torch up to the eggs to see if they have developed fetuses. If not, they make great scrambled eggs, omelets, cakes, or whatever recipe that requires eggs. First of all, I wasn't even going to touch the eggs. I didn't want to disturb them whatsoever. But I got a lot of comments like this telling me I should have ate them. But to be perfectly honest, I didn't want to touch them at all. Olds Gold, I am from Minnesota. Well, congratulations. For real though, I loved Minnesota. Everyone up there that I met, for the most part, was just really nice people. I remember, what was it? Oh yes, they taught me a word while I was there, and that word is oofta. And the way I took oofta to mean was like maybe you stub your toe. You could be like, oofta. But anyways, I love Minnesota, everything about it except for the winters. Oh my gosh, it feels like they last for 8 straight months. Next comment is from Philip-K9M, top tier banter, love it. So I think he's talking about between me and Sam. You know what? I had some people saying I was being really mean to Sam. That's just how we are. I don't know if you guys have little brothers or friends who just think they know everything, but that's Sam. Look, let me tell you something. Before I got there, okay, Sam had already kayaked out to that platform. I think they're actually called Moore's Sails. But anyways, he had already kayaked there, told me he had seen the place, all that. So I get there and I'm like, hey Sam, think I could get a hammock up there? He's like, no way, you will never get your hammock up there. It's not possible. So I was like, all right, whatever. We climb up there, and I could have easily gotten a hammock up there. And I'm like, Sam, you told me that you looked up here and there was no way to get a hammock. And he said, oh no, I've never actually been up here. He had never even climbed the ladder and looked. He just flat out lied to me. You know, that's just how me and Sam are with each other. Believe me, if I was mean to Sam, he would have stopped talking to me a long time ago. All right, one more comment and then I'm gonna go lay down. Final comment is from Insta Cheese. Hey Siri, can snakes climb ladders? You know what? I didn't even think about that. Like, it never even crossed my mind that the snakes could climb up the ladders and get up there. I just assumed since those eggs were there that there were no snakes up there, but man, I'm telling you right now, if a snake would have popped out at me, I would have had no problem jumping off there into the dark water. I would rather be in that dark, murky water at night than be on top of there with a snake. All right, that's all the comments. I'm gonna go lay down for a little bit, and then before I go to sleep, I'm gonna make a cup of chamomile tea, and hopefully that helps me sleep. To be honest, the last few camps I've done, I have barely slept. I actually decided I'm gonna go ahead and just make the tea because it's gonna be hot, and I'll be able to sip on it while I'm laying down in there. I just poured in like half a bottle of water. Let that get to a boil, and then we will steep it over our nighttime tea. Oh my gosh, it smells really good. Our water is boiling, and I'm not kidding. That took less than a minute. Wow, that was fast. That was crazy. Less than a minute to bring that to a boil. My other stove from Fire Maple, it usually took about a minute and a half, and I thought that was super fast. So this is crazy fast. It says to let it steep for about 5 minutes, but honestly, it's so hot, I'm not gonna be able to drink it anytime soon. So I'm gonna set it right here beside the tent. I'm gonna lay in there, look at stuff on my phone, maybe watch a stealth camping video or two. I'm gonna turn my thermocell off because I'm gonna climb in my tent. Shouldn't have to worry about the mosquitoes anymore. I'm going to finish drinking my chamomile tea, and then hopefully I'm going to fall asleep. If anything happens, I'll bring y'all back, but if not, good night, and I'll see you in the morning. Good night, everybody. Good morning, 6:48. I slept okay, better than I have been sleeping, but I was having weird dreams all night. I'm gonna go ahead and get up and start packing things away, because even though it did get a little chilly last night, it'll be back into the 80s today, so it'll be warming up pretty quickly. So I want to get packed up and get out of here before then. So it's like 8:30 a.m. now. My tent and all my stuff was just covered in condensation, and I didn't want to pack it up with it being all wet, so I just laid around for another 2 hours. I can hear announcements from the car dealership next door. But anyways, I have my tent and tarp and everything laid out, letting it dry off, and I think it's pretty good to go now, so I'm gonna pack it up. Got the campsite all cleaned up, everything packed away, all my trash and everything picked up, and it is time to get out of here. It got hot really fast, and I wanted to get out of here before the heat really kicked in, but there's no way I could just pack my tent up with all the moisture all over it. Like I said before, I live in an RV full time, so I don't really have a place to lay my gear out for long periods of time. We have a yard at the RV park we're staying in, but they come by and mow all the time and stuff. So anyways, I just figured I'd let my stuff dry out here before I left. But that's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna hop on my bike and head home. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this one wasn't as exciting as some of the other stuff I do, but you know, I can't climb spider infested ladders every week. But if you do enjoy stealth camps, I have a whole playlist just like this one, full of 40 or more other ones. So please check that out. Thank every one of you for watching these videos, whether you're subscribed or not. Just thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week for another stealth camp. Bye everybody.